Rodtang has made a name for himself with his aggressive fighting style in Muay Thai. He has had multiple title reigns in various organizations and is currently one of the most popular athletes in one championship. One thing that has allowed Rodtang to be successful in Muay Thai is his unique fighting style, which he calls Iron. In this episode of Top 5, we will break down what Rodtang's style is all about. So let's get into it. Coming from the famous camp of Buakaw, Rodtang is a very technical striker, and his style is heavily influenced by his coach, who is a legend in Muay Thai. If you are a fan of Rodtang, then you probably know that his nickname is the Iron Man. And he actually took this nickname literally, even going as far as turning his back and walking away from his opponent when he knows he has hurt them, just like how iron is known to rust when exposed to water. And that is why he came up with the name of his style, Iron. And the first thing that we can see in Rodtang's style is his boxing skills. We can see that he throws a lot of punches, and he throws them very fast. His boxing technique is great, and because he has such good boxing skills, he is able to throw combinations very easily and catch his opponents off guard. In fact, you could say that his boxing is so good that it kind of resembles a boxer who only fights in the standing realm. This is an example of one of his amazing boxing combinations where he was throwing fast punches while moving around his opponent. And these are the kind of skills that got him the championship belt in ONE FC. Another important aspect of Rodtang's style is his ability to change stances quickly. For example, here he is fighting someone who is more experienced than him, and that shows as he gets taken down. But after he gets back to his feet, he switches to southpaw stance very fluidly and starts dominating with his left hand. This is a very useful skill because he can switch to his southpaw stance both offensively and defensively, depending on the situation of the fight. Switching to southpaw can definitely surprise your opponent and disrupt their rhythm, and Rodtang uses it very well in his fights. There are some fighters who prefer to stand at the southpaw stance throughout the whole fight, but Rodtang changes his stance based on what he needs at that time. This is a good strategy because it makes him less predictable. Now, this ability to switch stances comes down to two factors. The first one is having the right footwork, and the second one is proper training. In order to have good footwork, you need to start with having good balance. You need to work on your stance and position yourself correctly so you can attack and defend properly. And if you want to learn how to improve your footwork, you can do that through plyometric training. There are many exercises that you can do for this type of training, and they usually involve jumping. So start with doing things like squat jumps, lateral jumps, and speed skaters to improve your footwork. Then once you have improved your footwork, you can work on switching your stance. And there are drills that you can do like cone drills and mirror drills. Cone drills allow you to work on footwork patterns without having an opponent, and the mirror drill allows you to practice switching stances with a partner. These are just examples of the drills that you can do to practice stance switching. Of course, Rodtang, being the athlete that he is, he does way more than just these drills to improve his stance switching. Now let's move on to the second aspect, which is training. To be able to switch your stance quickly, you need to be well trained in both orthodox and southpaw stances. You should be able to attack and defend from both stances because if you don't, your opponent will be able to take advantage of it. One thing that Rodtang emphasizes on is working on switching his stance in between rounds. So during the fight, he is always aware of his stance and how to use it to his advantage. That's why you see him switch his stance during the fight and also get back to his original stance very quickly. The next thing that we can see in Rodtang's style is his aggressive fighting style. It's not uncommon to see him swinging wildly and letting his hands go, throwing everything he has at his opponent. And that's probably one of the reasons why he has so many finishes under his belt. Most of the time when he does this, he lands his strikes because he lets his hands go in combinations. Rodtang seems to be fearless in his fights. He always goes forward and looks for the knockout, even though he may be risking himself by exposing his chin in the process, but that's how he fights. He has a never-give-up mentality, and that's what pushes him to be aggressive. However, being aggressive isn't necessarily a fighting style. It's more like an attitude or mentality that you bring into the fight. For example, Rodtang can be very aggressive and throw wild punches at his opponent, but he still needs to have proper technique and timing to land those punches. On the other hand, he can also be more tactical and strategic by studying his opponent, looking for openings and picking their level of fatigue before going in for the kill. So it's not enough to just be aggressive. You also need to be smart and know when to strike and when to be patient. If you want to incorporate aggression into your fighting style, you need to have confidence in your striking abilities. So if you want to become more aggressive, you should work on your power, accuracy, and timing. Start by improving your power by doing things like resistance band punching and heavy bag work. From there, you can focus on your accuracy by doing things like shadow boxing and pad work. And finally, you can work on your timing by doing things like speed bag work and reaction ball training. Once you have worked on all three aspects of striking, you should be able to incorporate aggression into your fighting style. The last thing that we can see in Rodtang's style is his ability to utilize the ropes. Many fighters sometimes forget about the ropes and the things that they can do with it. However, Rodtang uses the ropes very effectively, whether it's to keep his opponent at a distance or tie them up or to gain leverage. He is not afraid to use it. For example, here he is using the ropes to keep his opponent away from him while he regains his composure. Also, here he is using the ropes to tie up his opponent and land knees to his opponent. And this is a very effective way to damage your opponent because it's very hard for them to defend themselves when they are tied up. Now the question is, how can you use the ropes effectively? First, you need to know what you can do with the ropes, and secondly, you need to train it. Some things that you can do with the ropes are keeping your opponent at a distance with the help of the ropes, holding the ropes to tie up your opponent, bouncing on the ropes to make it harder for your opponent to hit you, and using the ropes to support yourself while you throw knees and elbows. Now to train it, you can do things like rope drills and sparring with someone who holds the ropes. With the rope drills, you can work on things like jumping rope, skipping rope, bouncing on the ropes, holding the ropes and tying up your opponent. And with sparring with someone who holds the ropes, you can work on things like keeping distance with the help of the ropes, holding the ropes to tie up your opponent, landing knees and elbows while holding the ropes, and also bouncing on the ropes to make it harder for your opponent to hit you. So those are the main elements of Rodtang's fighting style: his boxing, his ability to switch stances quickly, and his aggressive fighting style combined with his ability to use the ropes. Now you might notice that there are other things that we haven't mentioned, such as his elbow game, knee game, and also clinch work. Well, those are not part of his style. Those are techniques that he uses in the fight. So yeah, Rodtang is a very complete fighter, and his style is constantly evolving. Thank you guys for watching till the end, and if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, if you want to learn Muay Thai from scratch, so that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.